Hello, and welcome to the latest installment of New Arrivals at Princeton Record Exchange. It is an absolutely gorgeous late June 2013 day, and today we're featuring a very nice collection of around 100 free jazz, spiritual jazz, and avant jazz. Starting out with some of the more rare ones, Khan Jamal Infinity, never seen this one. A lot of these records are private press, very, very small labels. Uh, Albert Eiler Trio, Spiritual Unity, ESP, one of the most preeminent labels of this type of music. Sealed, red print first. Pharoah Sanders, self-titled, on Indian Navigation. Indian Navigation, Strata East, and ESP are probably the biggest labels out there, but we have lots of other little tiny labels too. This music primarily was in the 70s, kind of after the modal post-bop era. It goes from extremely chaotic to peaceful and back again. One thing I guess you could say is it all is very emotionally driven. Jazz was in a funny state of mind back then. Sales were very poor. The bop era kind of run its course, and a lot of people headed out in a lot of different directions, making very interesting music. Black jazz, Henry Franklin here. Black jazz is really fantastic spiritual jazz for the most part, although a little free sometimes. They say the music kind of came from notoriously, Albert Eiler said, Coltrane the father, Pharoah Sanders the son, and Eiler the Holy Ghost. It was a freaky time of experimentation, and it's really a pleasure to see such rare records all at once. Some of the artists, Charles Tyler you see there, Albert Eiler we mentioned, Sun Ra, of course, kind of the father of them all. We have a beautiful copy of My Brother the Wind here, hand-painted, original Saturn. Very rare. Some of these are imports. We have a lot of records on the Horo label out of Italy. There was lots of groups that got together and made different forms. You see the Jazz Composer Orchestra here, Cecil Taylor, Roswell Rudd, Pharoah Sanders. You see the same names over and over. It's this very sort of small cadre of people were playing together. Some nice Archie Shepp there. Frank Wright, Butch Morris, some of the other names out there. Anthony Braxton, of course. Don Pullen, Chico Freeman. Very nice Strata East, one of my favorites is Ifo Sam. Another black jazz for you. Idris Muhammad, backed up a million people. A couple of his solo records, very spiritual, very funky. Extremely rare, Ensemble Al Salam, The Sojourner, one of the rare the Stratus East recordings. Chico Freeman, again we mentioned. Sealed, Indian Navigation. Again, one of the more rare, Strata East. Heath Brothers used many times for samples, the hip-hop era, sought after. Sealed, covers a little dinged up behind it, but in excellent shape otherwise, as it's sealed. Art Ensemble of Chicago, Among the People. We've never seen this record. I think it's Greek, if I remember right. Yeah, Greek only. Very neat. Coltrane imports, some more Indian Navigation. Hammond Blewett, Anthony Braxton. His very strange mathematical formulas. Butch Morris all over the place. Just a really nice collection of stuff we just hardly see, at least certainly not in this quantity. The gentleman who sold them wanted to get them back in the hands of people who listen to them again. We definitely appreciate that spirit. Just flip through more. Archie Shepp, one of my faves. Like I say, about 100, all going out today. And as well as the free jazz, and dovetailing nicely with the more exploratory side of jazz, we've got over 200 20th century classical LPs in stock. In particular, a really fine selection of Stockhausen. Don't think I've ever seen this from the 7 days, 7 LP set. Moments, very rare. An incredibly rare Xenakis box set, 6 LPs with book of amazing scores. Just flip through a few more. It's not particularly, despite this cage here, the more experimental side. It's a lot of 20th century orchestral chamber music, but some really interesting stuff that we just don't see every day. A lot of Eastern European composers, some Russian. We've got some neat stuff on the Melodia label, Bis, some New World. Just a really interesting selection of stuff. We've been very encouraged with how well the classical records have been going in general. You might have noticed we put out about 1,000, 1,500 last week, and they're selling quite briskly, so we think we're going to be picking up on that a little bit as space allows and collections come in. But we thought you might just like to see a little taster of this kind of more interesting music that I guess I just don't see very often. We've also been quite busy, as usual, buying all sorts of other products, so now that we sort of finished a little taster of this very interesting, different music that we've got out there, our budget cheap CDs, those $1.99 to $4.99 per disc. As you can see, we've got a wall of over 20,000. We've more than doubled the space of our cheap jazz CDs. We still don't have anywhere near enough space, and in fact, we are 4 deep down below. And we've even rearranged the front of the store to allow for about 1,500, 2,000 more new arrivals that are going in. So that's about it. Hope you've enjoyed our brief little tour of 20th century classical, avant-garde free jazz, our huge budget CD collection, and that you have a chance to come and visit us at the Princeton Record Exchange in Princeton, New Jersey.